Senator Rand Paul was on CBS This Morning talking about his plans for tonight and why Donald Trump has become so incredibly popular. I want you to listen to what he had to say and then get your reaction.
I like to mix it up, so my staff is all saying, oh no, we need to be cautious, and I'm like, I like to mix it up, so I plan on getting into it with the other candidates.
All right.
All right.
Mix it up. I'm definitely watching tonight then, Senator Paul. When you say you want to mix it up, anybody in particular you want to mix it up with?
You know, why not mix it up on the ideas and issues of the day? It doesn't mean it has to be impolite, doesn't mean it has to be rude, but we need to mix it up because really this campaign and who becomes the president ought to be about ideas and who can best lead the country.
Now, let me go back to Nora's question about Donald Trump. What is it? What do you make of his rise in the polls? Is it, in your judgment, more rhetoric and bombast than it is policy and specific public positions?
Yes, and I think what he's tapped into, though, is that 90% of people are unhappy with Washington. In fact, that's why I ran for office. I'm a physician. I'd never been involved in politics, and I was able to beat an establishment politician because I ran against the machine. I still intend to do so because 90% of people are unhappy. I think we need term limits. I'd wash the whole place out. The whole place needs to be, clean, swept, and start over again. I've met almost every leader on the stage in Washington, and there is no monopoly of knowledge up there. We need new people, and one of the big proponents and one of the things I will propose is that we have term limits. I think we ought to send them all home, myself included.
Okay, but so why is Donald Trump tapped into this rather than you, according to the polls?
Well, he had a little bit of help. Y'all covered him with about $1 billion worth of news media. It's all your fault, Charlie.
Oh, I see.
It's all, So now the thing is that, for example, I've been talking about a flat tax where we eliminate the entire tax code to try to get American jobs to come home and American companies to come home. But I have really had a little trouble getting traction with getting the message out. And I don't blame anyone. I mean, the news is what the news is. But you have to admit that there's been an extraordinary amount of attention paid to one person. And I think anybody's numbers would rise with that amount of attention. So our job is to break through. Our job tonight is to step up, defend, and maybe demolish some other bad ideas that are out there, or point out that maybe there are some empty suits without ideas.
Is he blaming us?
Yeah, I think he is.
Oh, man.
He's blaming us, Major.
Major Garrett, what are your thoughts on what you heard?
Well, sure. Look, every politician not named Donald Trump right now believes there's too much coverage of one person, Donald Trump. And that's part and parcel of the fact that Donald Trump has a reality TV persona that he carries with him. There's an attractiveness, there is a curiosity factor. But you also can't ignore the fact that in national polls and in some of the early state polls, Donald Trump is performing not just well, but beyond expectations. That's a legitimate news story. And the other Republican candidates want to fight their way into that story, but you can't if the polling data suggests, as it does for Rand Paul, you're well behind. One of the things that news media coverage does is it tends to separate the pack, those who are attracting followers, attracting polling numbers, from those who don't. And right now, Rand Paul is in the those who don't category. So he's got to find a way tonight, as do many other Republicans, to either challenge Trump or find a way to distinguish his message and his approach to the presidency so he can have some of that coverage and maybe get some of that stage back that he has lost in these 2 months that Donald Trump has been unquestionably a phenomenon.
Major Garrett in Cleveland. Major, thanks so much. And still to come this hour on CBSN, we will be talking to presidential candidate Rick Santorum. He has said that the debate organizers should apologize to voters for limiting the number of candidates participating in the primetime debate. We're going to ask him about that. And stay with CBSN for full coverage of the primary debate. Our coverage will begin tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. Coverage will continue after the debate at 11 p.m. with a full analysis Friday morning right here on CBSN.